On a bitterly cold Christmas Eve, when the city streets shimmered under a soft blanket of snow and golden lights hung like stars fallen too low, Adrian Vale, the billionaire everyone thought had everything, walked slowly through the town square holding his daughter Lily's tiny gloved hand, determined to give her at least one night that felt normal, magical, and untouched by the weight of his wealth or his grief, because money had built him empires but it had never been able to protect him from loss. Lily laughed as she pointed at the towering Christmas tree, its lights blinking in gentle rhythms, her breath puffing into the air as she bounced with excitement, and Adrian smiled, though his smile was careful, guarded, the kind a man wears when he's learned that happiness can disappear without warning. Ever since Lily's mother, his wife, his anchor, had died 3 years earlier in a quiet hospital room that no amount of money could make warmer, leaving behind questions that had never fully settled, especially the one that haunted him most, why Lily sometimes felt like a miracle borrowed from someone else's life. As they moved closer to a small crowd gathered around a street performer playing a violin, Adrian noticed another child standing near the edge of the square, a little girl about Lily's age, thin jacket, worn shoes, eyes too observant for someone so young, holding a paper cup with a few coins inside. Clearly they're not for wonder but for survival, and before Adrian could gently steer Lily away, out of habit, out of guilt, out of the unspoken rule that his world and hers were not meant to touch, Lily stopped, tilted her head, and stared at the girl with a puzzled intensity, then suddenly smiled and said in a soft, clear voice that cut straight through the noise of the square, "Papa, she's like me." And in that instant Adrian felt the world snap into silence, the lights blurring, the snow slowing, his heart thudding painfully as he looked from his daughter to the stranger child whose eyes widened in shock, because there was something undeniable there, something that logic tried to dismiss but instinct screamed to recognize, the same curve of the cheek, the same dimple that appeared when she smiled shyly, even the same faint birthmark near the eyebrow that Adrian had memorized on Lily's face during countless bedtime kisses. The little girl's caretaker, an older woman with tired eyes, rushed forward to apologize, pulling the child back as if afraid of trouble, but Adrian couldn't move, couldn't speak, his breath catching as fragments of the past rushed in uninvited, documents he had never questioned, a closed adoption his late wife had arranged quietly while pregnant, a promise she had made him swear never to dig into because some truths don't heal, Adrian, they only complicate, and now here, under Christmas lights, was complication made flesh. "What's your name?" Adrian finally asked, his voice unsteady, kneeling so he was eye level with the girl, ignoring the whispers, the stares, the cold seeping into his knees, and the girl hesitated before answering, "Maya," her voice barely louder than the falling snow, and when Lily beamed and said, "I'm Lily. We're the same," something inside Adrian broke open completely, because in that moment he didn't see wealth or poverty or strangers, he saw a truth his wife had carried alone, a truth that had split into two tiny hearts at birth. The older woman explained, haltingly, that Maya's mother had died years ago and that Maya had been left in her care with little more than a note and a small hospital bracelet, and when Adrian asked to see it, his hands shook as he read the faded name of the same hospital where Lily had been born on the same night, the same storm, the same hour, and the realization crashed over him with a force no business loss had ever matched. His daughters were twins, separated not by fate but by a choice meant to protect, a choice that had left one child surrounded by warmth and the other by cold. The crowd faded away as Adrian stood, holding both girls' hands now, feeling their small fingers curl around his as if it was the most natural thing in the world, and for the first time in years, he cried openly, not out of pain alone but out of resolve, because Christmas, he realized, wasn't about lights or presents or even miracles, it was about truth finally finding its way home. That night didn't end with a dramatic rescue or instant answers, but it began something far more powerful, a journey of healing, responsibility, and love, as Adrian promised, out loud, under the glowing lights, that he would never let the world divide his children again, that Maya would never have to beg in the shadows while her sister marveled in the glow. And as the girls laughed together, snowflakes tangling in their hair, it felt as if the city itself exhaled, bearing witness to a family becoming whole in the most unexpected way. And if this story touched your heart, if you believe that kindness, truth, and second chances still exist in this world, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because every story we share is a reminder that even in the coldest moments, light can still find us.